So I only recently looked at hover boxes in Wix, but now that I have done so, I am beginning to think that they are actually really good ways of conveying a two-part typographic message. So I made this here, and let me show you how it works. This is the first part of the message, which says, before it's too late, walk away. And then the second part says, because you really have no excuse whatsoever. And then the second part also gets a bit larger because of an effect that I put on the hover. So I want to show you how to put this together, because it's a little bit complicated actually. Let's get started here. So I've deleted this hover box. What I'm going to do is I'm temporarily going to make the page a little bit darker so that we can see the guides better, because the guides are going to be quite important here. And the way this works is that you can either go to interactive or you can go to box, and then the hover boxes are here at the bottom, or you can go to interactive and then hover boxes. And I was working with this one, which is quite easy to clean up. There's very little information on it, but then I realized that this one here is actually much better for working with photographs. The other one is a bit difficult to put photographs into, so I just drag this onto the page, and what I need to do is I need to align this pretty much exactly the way that I want it, because once you put your material in it, it will be quite difficult to resize this. So you need to make a decision pretty much from the start. So the way that I'm aligning it is I'm aligning it to the right here and the left here, and I'm making it go all the way across. So now it has two parts. This is the hover part and this is the regular part. So what we need to do first is, of course, to delete their text, which we don't want, and then we change the image. And the image that I picked for the up part is this one right here. And I should also say to you that I had to play around with this quite a bit in Photoshop, which is what you would be doing in Photopea if you don't have Photoshop. But just to show you what I mean, if we go to the trash here, you will see a lot of previous versions. And basically what I had to do is I had to make this central part here quite a bit darker. I just selected the central part and I gave it a really big feather, and then I went in with the curves and also the levels to just darken this part here so that the text is actually going to be easy to read here. So now let's scale this so that it actually becomes a little bit bigger than the hover box. And now basically I'm just going to crop it. I'm going to do the exact measurement with the crop because it's going to be much easier to do it with the crop than with the let's see. And I had it more narrower when I was just showing it to you, but I think I'm going to actually leave it like this. I'm going to make the image bigger. So let's see. Now, where's the box? Ah. Now I should make the box bigger, and then take the image out, all the way out, and then come in and attach it to the box. So now it is actually attached to the container box, which is how you want it. So now this is the image for the top part. Now let's go to the hover, and this here I'm going to hide. So anything that you don't want people to see on the hover, you just hide it. And that's just what I did just now. So here I'm going to, I'm going to actually delete, because I'm going to show you how to put in your own text. So let's actually go ahead and change this image first. So what I have found is that it is not so easy to scale an image once it's in hover mode. So look, this cursor keeps jumping around, so it's easier to actually do this with the crop tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this much larger, so like so, and then just use the crop tool to crop it exactly the way that I want it. So I'm going to come in here and then go out to here, and let's see, and then bring it all the way down here, because that's where the container box is for the one on the outside. Now what I did is actually the one that I was showing you in the beginning is a little bit was a little bit narrower, so that's the guide for that one. Then I just thought, why not try something that is a bit bigger. So now as we go back and forth, we don't have any effect at all. So hold on, let me just see what we have here. That's a problem. Oh, okay, we have this problem right here. This needs to come in here, because I was noticing that something was jumping around. So let's do this again. It still seems to be doing that. Huh. Okay, did I forget to? Yeah, okay, now it's in good shape. Now let's add the text to this part, which is going to be pretty straightforward. You just take the text and you just drag it here, and I already chose what I want to do. I just want to use the regular version of the font that I'm using, and I want to make it 30. Whoopsie. Let's see. I want to align it to here, and let's see, put the first line maybe here. So let's edit this, and we are getting the usual Wix aggro that it's not letting us edit the text, in which case the only smart thing to do really is to close the editor and then fire it back up again, which is the only effective way of getting rid of that bug when it happens, which actually it happens quite a lot, unfortunately. So now hopefully it should be fixed. Yep. So I'm just putting in the same text. And then what I also had was these dit things. Hold on. Like this, which I moved over a bit. So can we read this easily? Yes, we seem to be able to read it easily, except maybe it might be smart to actually move this guide down just a tick so that the text is more easy to read, because it will be on a darker area. Because when you put text on top of an image, that's something that you always have to pay very close attention to, that it's actually reading correctly. Now, let's go back to the hover, and we have the same text here, right? Now we need to hide this, and this is how we hide it. If we delete it, it'll get deleted from the front part as well, from the top part as well, so we need to add a new piece of text. So again, I have the same values, white and 30. And let's hope Wix lets me edit this. Çünkü aslında because in reality you have no excuse whatsoever. So again, I'm going to align this to that guide where the other one is aligned to, and I'm going to align it to here, to the other guide, to where the other one is aligned to, so that they are exactly in the same location on the hover. And now let's give it a preview. What happened is that here it slipped for some reason. You sometimes end up grabbing one thing when you want to grab the other. You have to be careful with that. So here we have it. And actually, when it's longer, it actually seems to be working even more nicely. So that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, forgot one important thing. I needed to change the background of the page back to white, because that is how we had actually started to make it. That is how that inset works and everything. So it needs to be white, and white is much nicer for these images anyway.